Yesterday, we talked about text features that we find in nonfiction books. Today, we're going to continue our learning with that. To review, yesterday, we talked about the title of a book. We talked about the table of contents and what these numbers mean. Remember, this helps you find the page that's on. And we talked about the headings, like this, and how an author can use different ways to make the heading stick out so that the reader can see it and know that that's important. There are other text features that authors can use too to help the reader better understand what they're trying to teach them about. Today, we're going to look at this book, Fish. In this book, we learn about different types of fish, structures that fish have, and the functions of those structures. In this book, we're going to look at clownfish. I'm going to read the text. Clownfish live between the tentacles of sea anemones. The tentacles have poison, which protects the clownfish from enemies. Do you notice anything special about any of these words? Some of the words are bold. These words are darker than the other words in the text. The author does this to make those words stand out. This is a really common text feature that you'll see in nonfiction books, and it's used not only by this author, but by many different authors, and it's a text feature that you can use in your own nonfiction writing. Whenever we see words that are bolded, the author is trying to tell us that those are important words, and that those words are important vocabulary that we need to pay attention to. Because they're important to the topic of the text. Whenever we see bold print or bold words like this, we can usually find them in the book's glossary. The glossary of a book tells us what the word means to help us better understand that word. Whenever we are looking in a glossary, the words that are bold on the side, or the words that stick out, those words are the same vocabulary words that we saw bolded throughout the book. You find the bold word for the vocabulary word that you're looking for, and then if you look next to it, it tells you the definition of that word. The definition just means that it tells you what it means. So if I look for tentacles, because in the sentences about clownfish, we saw that it said tentacles and that word was bolded. It says tentacles are long, flexible arms. So whenever I see the word tentacles, I know that it means long, flexible arms because that's the definition. I could also look at the definition of sea anemone. Sea anemone is a brightly colored animal that looks like a flower with tentacles around its mouth. Whenever you're reading a glossary, you might notice that the words are in a certain order. They're just in alphabetical order, which means that the words that start with a letter that comes earlier in the alphabet come first, and the words that start with a letter that comes later in the alphabet go last. They go towards the end. So B comes before L in the alphabet, so bait comes before lure. L comes before P in the alphabet, so lure comes before plankton, and so on. Today, you're going to read the giraffes book that I sent you in Epic, and then you're going to complete a seesaw activity where you identify the bold words in the glossary and describe how those help you better understand a text. Have a great day!